Hi everyone. This is the back of my yard here, the back of the shop. It's mid-morning here, and lately I've been listening to Jordan Peterson on YouTube, and I've noticed that he's taken to reading what he wants to say, something that's pre-written. And actually his presentations come off much better when he does that. And the reason he gives for that is he doesn't trust himself to organize his thoughts and say just exactly the right thing. Well, I've discovered I have that problem also. Let's get the flip screen out here. I've discovered also that I don't say exactly the right thing. My thoughts, when they come off like this, are somewhat disorganized, and they don't really do as good a service to people because they haven't. I just think better when I write. So I'm going to read you today's what I have to say today. All right, so we're going to use the Good News of Messiah here, and I will now read. Hi, everyone. I'm speaking to you, all who recognize the law of the Almighty and His only kindred Son, Yeshua, the Anointed One, who is Almighty as well as human. You will probably admit to being Christian in some sense and recognize that an increasing degree of what goes on under the name of Christianity is corrupt, but not so corrupt as, say, communism or the totalitarian left. My message to you today is this: if you want the Most High's deliverance from the worst evils that lay behind the overthrow of our freedoms, then you need to get an awareness of the corrupt traditions inherited from Christianity. Totalitarianism is naked aggression and hatred of the truth manifested by Democrats in particular, and rhinos joined in their corporate fascistic system of Babylonian finance. That means a revolving door between the government and corporations. We might call it corporatism also, the true definition of fascism. Christianity, on the other hand, is a mixture of truth and error, but lately drifting into the error more and more. Let it be understood, though, that even while I criticize Christianity, it needs to be acknowledged that it has often righteously combated the pagan ideologies that are attacking the world: globalism, communism, and fascism. God has allowed Christians to succeed somewhat against these forces, and I scribbled a little too much when I wrote. God has allowed Christians to succeed against these forces, and what did I say there? Oh, well, I'll just have to make up the idea because I can remember the idea. God has allowed Christians to succeed somewhat against the forces and has given success to these efforts. But it will be nothing like the success that comes from obeying the Almighty and departing from the corrupt traditions accumulated by the Christian faith. So what I'm saying is that obeying God will give you more success if you get rid of the traditions and really do it. One of those traditions is anti-Sabbathism. The seventh-day Sabbath is a defense against enslavement. That is totalitarianism, communism, fascism. Because you see, slave masters want to take total control of your life. And they are jealous of the 1/7 or of the Sabbath given to Messiah Yeshua. When they don't want to give you Sabbath off, you recognize that you're dealing with an enslaver, not recognizing the creeping, subtle and secret attempt of enslavers to get control is the first part of being deceived. In other words, we don't know it. Sabbath observance exposes them and reveals who they are. Sabbath observance, even when, if it is only a goal to be attained, requires us to develop a battle plan against totalitarian employers. That completes the flags. And situations where we are denied our freedom. By switching to just employers, or by running one's own business, we become free again to observe God's Sabbaths. And if we do, then He can bless us and can deliver us from worse evils. Now, I should back this all up, because obviously Christianity is going to argue against it, at least the corrupt side of it. Now, I should back this all up, at least show you that the devil created the Sunday tradition. The scripture says that Messiah rose from the dead on the first of the Sabbaths, quote unquote. This would be the first Sabbath after Passover. The good news of Messiah in Luke 24:21 states the women found the tomb empty on the first of the Sabbaths. Well, I think I've got that here, so let's take a look at it. Back up a page here. There we go, Luke 24:21. And on the one Sabbath they rested, that is the Passover Sabbath. But on the first of the Sabbaths, in the deep dawn, they came upon the tomb, bringing the spices which they had prepared, and they found the stone has been rolling away from the tomb. And when they entered, they did not find the body of Adonai Yeshua. I think I dropped my paper here. I just dropped the first one. All right. This would be the first Sabbath after Passover on which Yeshua rose. The good news of Messiah, all right, I read that. A little later that day, one of the two men talking to Yeshua on the road to Emmaus brought up the subject of Yeshua's prediction to rise on the third day. So what did he say? One of these two men on the road to Emmaus say? He said, "And we were hoping that it was he who was about to ransom Yisrael. But indeed, even with all this, the time is passing a third day, this day, from when these things happened." This can only mean that it was now the fourth day, and the third day had just passed. Cleopas, the one who spoke, only made the remark because the time had passed, and they had not held faithful the report of the women. Cleopas reveals that the third day has passed. All right, the last page of this presentation. Okay, so there is a chart on the last page of the Good News of Messiah showing the 3 days between dawn on Wednesday, March 24th, AD 34, and dawn on the Sabbath, March 27, AD 34. So I'll just give you a quick peek at this chart. As I flip over here to the end. There we go. There's the chart right there. I hope the camera shows it pretty good because I'm not going to edit these videos. So I'll scan around here. You can pause the screen if you need to. You see the annual Passover Sabbath, the weekly Sabbath, and then right at the bottom of the chart, it's showing you the first, the second, and the third of the 3 days, ending at dawn on the Sabbath. And then the last part of the Sabbath there, that's when they were talking. It was the fourth day. We're counting day 1, day 2, day 3. the Sabbath day part of the Sabbath was the fourth day. Okay. So we see that with the report of the women, which they did not believe, given at dawn on the Sabbath. The report was given at dawn on the Sabbath. The third day ended. Later that day was the fourth day. The notes in the Good News of Messiah on the Luke 24:21 passage explain why the text correctly says, the time is passing, a third day this day. And of course, I go into excruciating detail of Greek grammar and the reasons why the translation is correct. And also, I give reasons why the other translations are completely incorrect on this. Obviously, this contradicts the Friday-Sunday tradition that says the time is passing a third day this day. And the time is already passed at some point on that day, and they were in the fourth day part. If the remark was made on Sunday, it contradicts the Friday-Sunday tradition. Then clearly a third day was not passed yet, because if you count from Friday afternoon, that's the first day, Saturday's the second day, Sunday's the third day. But the third day doesn't end until Sunday ends, and of course they believed that the men on the road to Emmaus were talking on Sunday. So that contradicts it to say the third day was ended. If the remark was made on Sunday, then clearly a third day was not passed yet. And clearly to make the hopeless complaint about Yeshua's prediction before the timeline came to an end is self-evident foolishness. The solution, therefore, is that the Friday-Sunday tradition is false. And this is good reason why you should believe me. Thanks for listening.